This is a bit of a high introduction, like I feel like in Las Vegas or something. But hi, my name is Natalia. I'm leading Chaos Architects, and we are a startup here based in Helsinki, and our solution is for resilient cities. So if you're in the resilient city, like this is for you. I think Ari right now was giving a very good context of what data is and about what we do at Chaos Architects. And we part from the premise that cities are growing. And more cities are just like the ones who are going to solve these wicked problems that we have in the world. So for me, for my perspective, there's no point in speaking about data or speaking about business if we are actually not correcting these issues that we currently have. And that could be poverty, that could be equality or segregation. So how do we do that with a simple solution? Now, when we are like speaking about data, we're bombarded by different kind of things. And then we say like, yeah, we're a company in analytics and we can bring you this. Or we are analyzing real estate and then we bring you this kind of stuff. But how does it actually relate when we are humans and we have certain capacity to provide or to process different kinds and different sorts of information? It's very easily overwhelming to make a decision that you have to trace over time, especially in the smart city or in the building environment or building industry. So as Ari was mentioning, the data right now, or the smart city, is fragmented and working in silos. So that means that either we're working in transport or in real estate or in security or so on. And do you see what is like the pattern here? We mostly speak about IoT, about cameras, about sensors, etc. But we're very little focusing in citizens or in persons. So I disagree a little, like he was mentioning, we need data, yes, we need, but we also need creativity of humans. And that's how we came up with Chaos right here. So we are the only startup, the only solution that is actually combining data with human intelligence. And we want to use this word very, very directly because human intelligence for us is like the kind of creativity that you produce. Not just a number, not how many trips you make in a bus, but also how your decisions are influencing the decisions or the buildings or the cities of tomorrow. So it's not enough to know how many times you go in a tram. It's not enough that you buy one single room apartment. We want to understand what are going to be your needs in the future and how society is behaving overall. So our vision is to create sustainable cities around the world. And our mission is to do that through crowd insights. Now, this is a very bold solution. Like, have you heard this somewhere else? Yes, no? Or you haven't heard anything, apparently. This is very bold. So we were thinking, like, how do we actually come up with something that answers to this kind of vision or mission? So we came up with a robot. And her name is Livy. And she is able to eat different kinds of information and communicate at the same time. So robots can process information faster than us and can correlate data together. So then they have an answer for that. So Livy, for us, works in 4 different segments. One is people. So we wanted actually to give 4 categories and very, very easy to understand. People. So people. Demographics, movements, creativity, ideas, dialogue, etc. Then also infrastructure. Infrastructure meaning everything that you have built in the city, waste management, building, transportation, etc. Then nature. What do you need in a city to survive? What kind of crops do you produce? What kind of parks of weather do you have? This is nature for us. And then competitiveness. What makes you move to a city or live somewhere? Is it that you have a job? Is it that you have a good education? Or that you have very good salary? So what is it? So this for us is competitiveness. So we actually put a score in regions, in countries. Now, Livy communicates with the private and public sector. So we also have a problem or an issue of communicating data and results to everyone. So this is for anyone in the industry. You want to make better investments in real estate? This is for you. You want to understand how building a tram is going to impact the future of your city? This is for you. If you want to trace the decisions that you make in a government. Should we approve budget for a library or for a hockey rink? This is for you. You want to make research? This is for you as well. So we answer different kind of questions based on the data that we collect. Now, how do we do that? When we collect a lot of different data, we're just speaking about granulated data. When we have everything together, then we're speaking about analysis. It's a basic analysis that puts one and one together. So that's analysis or analytics. When we run our algorithm, that means that we're running machine learning that is detecting patterns. What happens when we build this kind of public transport and this kind of housing, and our population mostly is students? What's happening now and what's going to happen in 20 years with that area? So that's what we know. And we do it through pattern recognition, through forecasting, and through making decisions. So these decisions are what-if scenarios. Now, when we started to build this, we actually had 3 challenges. The first one of that, and one that is like bringing tears to our eyes every time that we analyze more information, is like, how do we actually set our minds into a market not going very granular and not going very high level? So the challenge here was to select the best indexes that give us the more information. So through a process of recognition, we actually selected like specific ones that build our robot. Now, what I'm speaking here is that if I understand what happens in one floor plan, who lives there, and what are the square meters, it's not relevant for me because I cannot forecast with that. But if you give me a postal code, for example, it's relevant enough because a postal code has already housing, types of different housing, transport, parking spaces, services, probably a school. So that's relevant for me. But that's very, very specific. Another challenge that we encounter as well was that how do we make a product that is very easy to use? So we don't want to create another expert tool. We want everyone to be able to just buy a license and log in. So this was also a challenge for us. How do we communicate with the normal citizen that is not an architect, not an urban planner, and who is probably in a very C-level management of a company or in politics, for example? So we resolve it through bars and charts and infographics. The way that we forecast is just like drag and drop. So very millennial in that sense. You want to know something about it, we have data sets in it, and then you just include it. And how do we work? By regions? Well, you select our geofence areas, you can select that, and then we get you the livability of that area. Now, the other challenge was, how do we actually communicate with everyone if we're mobile all the time? If we don't want to be another product that you have to install on your computer, we want to be in the cloud and we want to be mobile. So then we created our app. And that is for everyone to use. It's free for download. You can search for it by Chaos or Happy City. And that is bringing also demographic for us. Demographic information, information about ideas, about what do we want to change in the built environment, about the preferences also of citizens and crowds. So this is how we enable communications between everyone. We no longer want to be these like cited workshops where we go to there and speak to the city or speak to the builder and say we want this in the community. We need to be faster because we are faster as well. So then, based on our products, then we decided that, okay, we are offering you analytics, we're offering you forecasts, and we're offering you data. So if you're in need of any of these, we just create a license for you, and you start using our tool. What we mean also with data is that if you're not interested in that, but you're interested in fitting your system, then we create APIs for you upon request. So this is how you play with Livia and you communicate with the robot. Now, mostly how we work with customers is that this has been a challenge because the built environment is a very conservative industry. And when we speak about data and AI, it's very fancy and it's very impressive. but it's very difficult to find a case or to understand how is that going to be beneficial for me and how is that going to actually make my job easier. So we have worked with the private and the public sector right now, and what we have discovered is that having this series of steps works better. So the first step that we actually do is like sit with you and say, we're not going to ask you like, what do you want? We're actually just going to listen to you like a therapist. And then we come up with an idea and say, would this make your life easier if you would have these kind of things? And if you say yes or no, then we continue from that. So we make several iterations to make a proposal for you. So after that proposal, we sign a contract for you, so you can also keep your KPIs like on the set for us as well. And then we add our gold dust. The indexes that we get from Levy are not the basic ones that you get from the industry because we correlate more layers of data, the 4 that I mentioned. So that for us is the gold dust that we offer for you. We can deliver insights that other companies are not currently doing in the business. So we do 1, 2, 3 iterations and checkpoints with you, and then we come with you and say, do you like what you see? Are you able to see the information you want in a map and being like very easy for you? If you say yes, then we just provide the license, and that's our job. Normally, we can do these around 3 months if it's depending on the information that you have. So it's very easy like to start playing with data if you are interested. Now, because you hear a lot of data right now and we hear a lot of solutions, I want to encourage this thinking right now. And is it, do we know everything about the future? Do we know how to solve poverty? Do we know how to take smart decisions that are leading the built environment like towards a more sustainable environment? Can we right now say that we build sustainable cities in Finland or in Africa or in Asia? Are we able to say that with the information that we currently have? If no, then I'm going to ask you, like, what would you like to know about the future? If you have something in mind, or if you don't know but still are eager to know more about it, contact us and follow us in social media. Thank you.